Great. Do we have any questions on the agenda? Anything that I didn't mention that any of you really wanted to cover today?
If I can mention one more thing that I think is relevant, is also that from next week, I'm going to be starting an academy to build my Instagram and to basically build my own business. And through that, you would obviously also get exposure. I am excited to introduce you on my stream, but if it makes sense to also like help each other grow through other sorts of media, I think that would be great for all of us.
And the streams we will record, share on our Gathering of Tribes YouTube and through our Gathering of Tribes channels. So the idea is it's a different angle and it's a great way to promote your project, your camp, and regeneration in general.
Bye, Alex. Thank you so much for making it. Good luck with all your events. Okay, so thanks so much, Lydia. I don't know when you have to go, by the way, but yeah, thank you for being here.
Today I can stay the full hour, like until 4.
Great. Okay, everyone else, any questions? Anything you came here to know? Yeah,
no question, just on Lydia. It would be great if you could share your link on the Twitch stream. I'd love to listen to some of your conversations.
I'm working on a revamp a lot right now, so I would rather share like a little bit later, but of course I can.
Okay. No, I mean, in zero judgment at all. I don't think this is a space for judgment. But it's whenever you feel comfortable.
Nice. By the way, this is a nice segue for me to push you all to join our Discord channel. Everything is happening on Discord for us. You'll see there is already a lot of threads created, including one for the sessions with Lydia, where there's a lot of information. All of our team conversations are public on Discord. If you're bored and you want to read through them, you can. But yeah, there is quite a lot in there. So feel free to join and tag us if you have any questions in there. So to start, I'm going to share my screen for a second so that you can have a look. So this space is the camp info pack. So this link I will share with you all. This is basically the folder where all of you camp builders can go. You have all the templates that are there. We're continuously adding documents in there. This is also where we're going to put all the marketing materials, the posts that you can push out, your budget templates, the camp leader responsibilities, the full info pack, etc., etc., etc. So this is kind of our Bible. With regard to the land, there is a folder called venue, and we have already thrown in there a lot of photos of the land. So, I mean, I'm not going to do like the family, let's watch holiday photos now and show you the gallery, but basically it's very beautiful. So feel free to go in that folder and have a look. As we said, it's super lush, it's super green. It's really nice. I'm just going to throw the link to this in the chat so you guys can follow with me. Let me know if you have trouble accessing. Right, so this is the land. You will also find a quick description of the garden here with a link to their website if you want to explore a little bit further. So that's the first part. Wanted to share some important points with regards to logistics. A lot of you, if not the vast majority of you, except for Mo, who is in Porto, but will be flying for the gathering. So important points are that the garden, so the venue, is a 40-minute Uber drive from Porto Airport. So the directions that you can give to people is fly into Porto, and then you can just take an Uber. The parking spaces are also limited. So obviously we're going to have a whole set of guidelines around how to ride share and so on and so forth. But this is already in terms of like, people ask, so it's accessible. People can also fly to Lisbon if they come from further away and take a train to Porto. So fairly straightforward in terms of the location.
I just realized I was muted the whole time. Okay,
Weird. There is okay, anyway. So that's that. The garden is 4 hectares. of wood forest, basically. It's full of trees and full of water. As Victor was saying, we love it, particularly for a bunch of reasons. One, we really the Google map, I can show you a Google map, but honestly, you can just see forest. It's not really interesting. I can show the actual map of the space with you if you want, but Google.
Why? I'm sure
Yeah.
it's confusing.
So one of the reasons why we chose it is because it has a project on it, a Regen project. So the garden, you'll see on their website, they're organizing a lot of artist residencies. They organized the Portuguese burn called Somewhere. They did last year, they will do it again this year. So really aligned with our values and the concept of co-creation that we bring into the event. And we were really keen to come to a land where we would actually be able to contribute, right? So our initial ideas on contribution for, direct support to the land were more around planting trees. They don't need planting, they need pruning, but they do need a lot of support. So we will, over the next few months, develop a full partnership plan with them where they will outline their needs. We will share all those needs with you, and we really hope that you guys can bring that into the way that you build your camp, right? Like, how can I bring something to this land? How can we create an event that is not degenerative, but that's really regenerative in the process as well? The second reason why we really love the land is because it is perfect for camp building, in that it is not one big space that is open, but it has loads of little platforms where you will be able to build your camps. I'm talking the physical locations, right? Meaning every camp will be able to have its own thematic, its own aesthetics, and its own sort of space in a corner. That's it. So yeah, much more to come on this. We're gonna walk around the land and take videos and more photos. If you guys have any questions, if there's any like specific thing that you want, definitely just drop us a message and we can get that information to you. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I could say much more. There's a huge lake you can swim in. There is like beautiful showers and lots of great stuff in terms of infrastructure. So yeah. Okay. Any questions on the venue and the land and your camp building process in terms of logistics? Okay, great. So now let's get to what you're all waiting for, which is the money part. So I'm putting in the chat a link to the budgets documents. This budget is the camp budget. So it's a template that we made for you to better understand how you can build your camp fee. Before we say more on this, we will share our own budget, meaning the overall gatherings budgets. So you can have a better idea of, yeah, how we're making money and what is our business model.
So it's just a lightning walkthrough, but the budget is available. We'll be updating it as life develops. The whole purpose of budgets is just to see how wrong you are, but also to get a scope of the idea. But the key thing that we want you to take away is that we're being fully open and fully transparent. Nobody's getting rich on this. Audrey's getting paid a much below market salary. I'm making nothing. And a few other people are making a little bit, but mostly it's expenses and costs. Of course, look through it. Tell us where you think we're spending too much or too little money. But yeah, I mean, in terms of explaining why ticket costs this much and not something else, I don't think we can have a better way than just like be fully transparent. And also it's part of the philosophy of the whole thing. So with having said that, this is the file. It's in the standard folder. So we have agreed with the garden, the biggest budget in the item from expenses is the venue rental. It's 500 for, if we have 500 people, it's or less, it's 9,000. It's a bit more if we have 600-700 people. Yeah, I mean, you can just scroll through it. I think there is nothing special in there. This is the one in terms of the profits. So the idea is that if there is a profit, we're going to split it half-half. Half will be saved for the next event to fund the kickoff of 2026. The last event had a few thousand profit. It's also in the folders, but somewhere else, which enabled us to, not really fully, but it enabled us. I'm putting up a lot of the initial funds myself, but hopefully we'll not lose money this year, and hopefully we'll be able to leave some money in the bank to start the next iteration in 2 years. And then the idea is that half of the profit will be distributed by the council, or the council of the gathering, which is the council of all of the camps. We'll talk more about that later. And the reason for that is that a lot of people will be contributing, myself included. I'm going to put myself up if there is any opportunity for me to get some money, but people facilitating opening, closing ceremony and other things. So we will work out the details of that, but the idea, that's the kind of general idea. Any questions about this budget and how we're organizing this? Feel free to look at it and also to share it with people who are coming to your camp, in case anybody has questions.
Okay, if no questions, so this was the basis for you to understand the ticket prices. Now I will just go back to your budget, which is the one I put the link of in the chat just now. Before we jump in the numbers, I just want to ask, does everyone understand how the ticket pricing work? Meaning your camp prices. I see.
Yeah, no, could you say a little more details on that?
Yeah, great. Yeah, I saw confused faces and big eyes. So basically, the way we suggest this to work is that the price that you just saw in our budget, the ticket price, which was 85 early bird, 100 normal, and 120, I believe, last minute, is what we need to cover our expenses. This is the base. What we call this the Gathering of Tribes ticket price, if you want, right? With this, we cover expenses. Now, we understand that if you want to build a camp, you may want to pay yourself for the work you put in. You may want to have some money to pay for, I don't know, a large tent that you can organize your activities under. You may want to add glamping, et cetera, right? So you may have additional costs that we are not supplying. We're just supplying the base infrastructure. We are letting you free to do that as you want, basically. So we're designing for you a template that can help you build your own budget. If you tell us, actually, I want my tickets to cost 2,000 euros per person, and I want to do the most badass camp that the gathering has ever seen, great, go ahead. It's your responsibility to do your budget. You sell your tickets. We don't care. What we do is that we will sell the tickets through our website, so you don't have to worry about that hassle at all. We will draft short contracts between you guys and the Gathering of Tribes business organization. And then basically, as soon as we receive your ticket sales, we will just pay you back your fee, right? That being said, you may also want to say, actually, I don't want to make much money on this. This is too much hassle. I just want to bring people and do something cool. I don't need glamping. I don't need infrastructure. I need nothing. There's a forest. It's great. In this case, you can also stay at the normal ticket price, right? So there is a whole spectrum there that you can play with, and this is your decision. You meet with your team, you decide how you want to do it. Any questions on this before I share the budget? Great. I think
Quick question, Audrey.
Yeah.
Just around how it worked last year. So, like, was that the same system last year? And if so, how did that go? Like,
So
how many variations were there in different?
last time we asked everybody to so first big difference is that there were general tickets. So you could come as part of a camp, or you could just buy a general ticket. And that caused a friction/confusion because the camps that had a camp budget, the camps put on quite a bit of production, they had bigger costs and their tickets were more expensive. And then people were like, why should I buy the more expensive camp ticket and da. And it also created for a small event, still not a very bad dynamic, but certainly the direction of a dynamic where some people are part of a camp and some people are just kind of lost free floating by themselves. And really, it's a key thing as we grow. We want people to have a real human experience of being part of a human group, as well as the bigger festival experience, and to be able to choose between them. I see quite possibly some camps will have a tight program and people almost never leave their camp. Their experience of the Gathering of Tribes will be with being with their tribe, and that's great. So we decided that, or I decided to do a different experiment this time, and then there's only camp ticket. So everybody needs to belong to some camp. By the way, the camps can be open or closed. So you can say that, you know, anybody who wants to can come and join you, or you can say that there's an application form, or you can say that you're closed. Only the people who you privately invited are invited. A key thing about the gathering is it's early days. We're definitely trying to create a new event format, a new kind of culture, which means we have to experiment and be flexible at the start. You know, we throw out ideas at there and then see how it works out. But I think that this idea of having everybody belong to a camp will be very important and will definitely, as we grow, and hopefully we will grow, because to be a dynamic event needs to be a bit bigger. It will make sure that, you know, nobody gets lost in the crowd. You're always part of some group. So that's a difference. And because it was kind of like there were general tickets and then there were camp tickets, some of the camps did the ticket sales themselves. This is still okay. I mean, if you have, for many organizations, selling tickets and organizing and VAT accounting and doing that is a pain in the ass. So something that we're trying to do, that's why we're having this meeting here. We're trying to really make it as easy as possible for an organization to come to a camp. And it was communicated to us by multiple groups that like this selling ticket stuff is a pain. So we decided, okay, we'll bite the bullet. It's complicated because everybody's got their own tickets and but I think it's worth the effort that we centralize the pain of the accounting and bookkeeping. But if you have you know, a strong sales infrastructure and it makes sense for you to sell the tickets yourself and just tell us how many you sold, we can have that conversation as well. Does that answer the questions and the motivations?
Yeah, it does. And I think it's better to keep it centralized, like you suggested. I think just also credibility-wise makes it better.
Oh.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mo. Okay, I will share the budget and Victor and I will talk through it. I definitely don't want to spend an hour on it. The idea is that you guys can make a copy of that budget and play with it. If you need, drop us a message and we have a session on this, right? If you need like direct support. But this is just to get you started. And again, with the idea that we really do want to start selling tickets as soon as possible. And for this, the main blocker is getting your camp budgets and ticket price set. So let me share my screen again. All right, so this is the spreadsheet that is in the folder that I showed you earlier, yeah, the camp info pack folder. There is only one spreadsheet and this is it. So to simplify things, yeah, being clear, it's really to simplify things, but you have full flexibility on this. We have created 3 camp examples. The minimal camp, which is, as I was saying earlier, like you don't really care, you're going to sleep in a tent, you will take a tree as your camp physical location, and that's it. This is the minimal camp. Small camp has a few more expenses line. And then the grand camp is the more luxurious experience. Before I get started onto the details, I just want to say one thing for practicality and for our mental health sake, we have removed glamping from this, meaning we are still deciding how we're going to do it in terms of selling the glamping, but we're probably going to have glamping on the side. Like you buy your tickets, do you want to add glamping? Yes, no. And we have a lot of glamping available, like probably up to 200 spaces, if not more. So more than enough for everyone, I believe. So just for me to explain the spreadsheet very quickly, what you see in this column, column B, what I'm highlighting right now is the ticket prices, right? This is the gathering price, as I explained it earlier, the festival ticket. Now, if on top of that, you want to add a 300 euro budget for decoration and workshop supplies and anything else, and if you think you're going to have about 10 attendees in your camp, your total camp ticket price will be this. In a small camp, what we suggest is that you may want a central tent, like a large Bedouin tent, and you may want to compensate the person who will be camp leader, meaning the person who will put time and energy into defining the concept, inviting people, etc., etc. In which case, obviously, the cost per attendee for your budget will increase to this. And if you add it onto the festival-based ticket price, this is the result. And for the Grand Camp, same. But we have a camp leader and a camp assistant and a generator and a sound system and so on and so forth. Obviously, your camp ticket price, meaning this one, the final ticket price, will vary depending on how many tickets you sell, right? So this is, again, our suggestion, but you see how many people you want to have in your camp and how many people you want to invite. Just thinking with a logical mind, our idea was that, well, if you want to do a grand camp, you probably want at least 30 people because otherwise your camp ticket price is going to be super high, right? If you want to do a minimal camp, you may not want to invite that many people because you want it easy and light and etc. So that's the basic. What we suggest, again, to repeat myself, is that you make a copy of the spreadsheets, play around with the budgets. You can, change the item description, change the cost description, and then you will come with your camp ticket price and we can review it together. I will add one thing, which is that we're, again, trying to support you as much as possible by putting together a list of suppliers, which we're still finalizing at the moment. So the glamping, you don't need to worry about. We're taking care of it. We will add it to the website. But for everything that is, hey, I want to rent a tent. How much is it? Where do I find my tent or generator or sound system or whatever else? We will do our best to provide you with a list again of suppliers. You will have the prices there, and we will work on making the links with those people. Again, this will have to be a bit of a flow and a bit of a dance. So it depends on, how much is available of what, but we have quite a few contacts. So I think we should manage quite well. Yeah. Any questions? Thank you guys for holding on for the budget part of the next conversation. I appreciate you. Okay. So if no questions, then yeah, I'll resend the link to that folder with all of you in our all our respective Telegram groups. And then I just encourage you to really have a look, have a play with it. And either we come together at the next nest in 2 weeks, and we sort of all come with our ticket price, that would be great, and we get our pages set up on the website. Or if you want, we can have a session again, individually beforehand, and sort the details together. There is one thing that we will need to do. This is the last point I think I want to bring today, actually, which is the legal part of all of this. Also a lot of fun. But important. Obviously, as I said, we will centralize everything, meaning we will receive more money than what is actually ours. So we will have to have a small contract in place, which we're drafting, and we'll send you the draft, which just says the ticket price of Evolute 6 camp is 300 euros per person. Gathering of Tribes confirms that they will pay back Evolute 6 in lump sums every 3 months for the difference between both per ticket sold. Very straightforward, right? But just to make sure that this is written and this is easy, and then we decide together the recurrence at which we make those payments to you so that you have a bit of cash flow running, and that's it. Should be quite straightforward. But any questions on the legal part? Okay, amazing. And just for you to know, the legal part will be run through the Gathering of Tribes company, which will be a business. Am I forgetting anything? I think that's most of it. Just one last thing. So this is sort of everything that's in the background behind the curtain in terms of what is visible. because we centralize everything, what we would like to do is to have one page per camp on the website. You will go on our website, which right now has just a landing page with the presentation, the invitation. You will have a camp page. In this page, there will be a list of all the camps that have committed. People click on the camp name, and this is where you guys can have all your camp description, what you're about. Like, I'm Mo, this is Zebra Growth. We're working on region marketing. This is what we want to bring forward. This is what's important to us. This is who we want to invite and who this ticket is for. And then you run, right? I'll just share with you quickly. In that same folder, again, you can really play with it, but so in your info pack folder, there is this spreadsheet, camp organization template, and we've done a little bit of work on this as well. I mean, everything is explained here in the guidelines tab, but I have made for you already a camp sign-up form. Basically, the idea is that you can just put that into a Google form and you go and you integrate that as part of your ticket sales, and that's it. Obviously updated as you see fit, as it makes sense for you, but yeah. And that's it.
So, just quick question. Am I understanding it right that the sign-up process will happen through our own forms? Because I thought the purchasing would happen on the site itself.
Yes, so if you, yes, it will go through our site. It depends on whether you want to vet people and like upfront or not. So I think the way it will work is if you don't want people to, just anybody to buy a ticket for your camp, they'll do an application to you and then you'll give them a code. And then with that code, they'll be able to buy the ticket for your camp.
Okay.
Of course, so our site, it's a simple WordPress website, so you can set up your camp info page there. But if you already have your own favorite way of making pages, etc., you can set it up on your side and just do a simple one with the basic information on ours that links to the main thing on yours, right? So kind of balancing it out for those people that have the tools and are set up to do it the way you're comfortable with, but for other people can just easily set it up on our side.
Cool. And maybe just one last question, the camps, how big do you think, like, do you think there's a cap? What is your recommendation?
Well, somebody asked if they could do a camp of 1,000 people and we said no, because we can only have 700 people at the event.
Yeah, we were talking about it today, actually. Well, I was bringing it up, but total cap for the event is around 700 people. We have around 15 camps committed, I believe now. We think we will have probably about 30 at the end. Here you go. So on average, it would be between 20 and 30 people per camp. But I think when we reach the 500 tickets sold, then we will probably take it from there and message you guys.
I think, rather than like, what's the limit from our side? I think the better question is, for a practicable, decent human experience, what's a good size of people? Well, 3 is kind of small. I would say like 10 to 50 is a good range, but it turns out that you're like very vibrant and you get company sponsorship so that you can do something bigger, and you're like, we have 100 people and we want to produce something great. Great.
Okay, thank you.
Which actually reminds me around sponsorship and funding. So the model that we're experimenting with this year is the gathering itself is not taking any sponsorship, but all of the camps are welcome to take their own sponsorship. I think this will create the balance of, as a gathering, we're not, taking anybody's money, which always creates a problem. And everybody, has some feelings about whoever you choose. But at the same time, it enables sponsorship money to flow into the event. So as a camp, you're more than welcome to bring in whoever you feel is value aligned and, that you're happy to represent and to bring into the energy of the thing. We trust each of you as camp builders to find and choose sponsors, which makes sense in the frame of a regenerative gathering.
Thanks, Stefan.
Thanks.
Okay, guys. I mean, I think we can finish early today.
I think we should do like, maybe we can show, because people here haven't seen the mural. You have the collaboration log open? Yeah, take this link, cut and paste this link.
So, all right, if you guys can head in here, just putting the link to our mirror boards in the chat now.
Or we can also screen share, but you can save it. It's in the info pack as well. So, yes. And if you can share just zoom in a bit more on the questions. And as we're sharing that, maybe we can do a checkout plus questions. So like a extended round going through a round. What are your thoughts and questions based off what you've heard so far? And maybe in the interest of speed, I'll call people as you are on the screen. And Sharon, you get to be first.
Okay. I have to attend another meeting soon. So sharing my thoughts about what?
Questions. What are your questions?
Do I have questions?
If not, you can just say pass, and that's good too.
Yeah, okay. I have a question. I choose one from here.
Perfect.
Can I? Cool. So I just chose one. Okay, it's what are your favorite 3 yoga positions?
3 what?
Yoga positions.
3 yoga positions. Audrey is the yoga teacher, so I will punt that one to Audrey.
Samastiti, downward dog, and child's pose
Child's pose.
all the way. Child's
We're
pose all
here in
the
the
way.
retreat. Why don't we have any yoga?
Yeah, just this is for another time.
I
We can have a
want
private
yoga.
session. Okay.
All right, Nina.
Okay,
I'll
bye,
pass
everyone.
it.
I sorry. Sorry, Nina. Yeah, it was really great to be here with you again, and yeah, amazing. So looking forward our next meetings, and
Thanks, Sharon. See you next time. Ciao, ciao. Thanks for
ciao.
being here.
Bye.
Back to Nina.
Thank you. I will pass it.
Yes, no questions? Wow, are we really that good, or we just intimidated everybody?
Yeah, maybe. James?
In terms of questions, you've got about the setting up and what's the earliest camp builders can arrive. And in terms of, you may well have already covered this previously, but in terms of supporting you to pack down and what are the expectations by the camp, and kind of how does that part of it all work as well, just in
Good
terms of
question. Experience.
allowing to leave things as they're better than we found them.
Yes, thank you for that. 5 days build. We can't give access to everyone, but I'm planning to give access to approximately 10% of the total number of people, which is a lot already. 2 days unbuild after the event, which would be the Monday and the Tuesday. We have negotiated with the land to have the last night, so Sunday night, as a decompression night for people, for those who do want to stay. What was your last question? Sorry.
Just in terms of how much time do we have to break things down, and then to support in terms of leaving things better than we found them.
Yes, yeah, leave
and-
it better than we found it. Yeah, thank you. So on this one, the Leave No Trace, we're developing a Leave No Trace plan, a good comprehensive plan in partnership with the land, with the garden. The idea is that they will then keep that plan, for all further events. And we will communicate that plan, but it will include like leave it better than you found it, meaning like how can we contribute to the land again. There will also be a waste management plan, which Hira is leading on as our in-house expert in partnership with some organizations that we're in touch with at the moment. And yeah, all of this will be communicated, but those are like running work streams, but we don't have the final product yet.
And about the so I was just going to ask that. So it's in terms of packing down. Oh, which is the closest source for spring water? Is there spring water on the land or?
There's a bunch of spring water, those springs on the land. Yeah, there is. One of the showers will be this endless shower situation, which will run throughout because there's so much water. This is the thing here. So yeah, and yeah, and there is like small supermarkets, like between 5 and 10 minute drive away. So yeah. Yeah, and on food, actually, sorry, you didn't ask this question, but I'm telling you anyway. There will be a community kitchen and the garden will probably provide food. They have a professional kitchen and we may have a couple of food vendors. If you guys as a camp want to do food, you can. You would become one of the food vendors. You just need to tell us well in advance and we organize it together. Yeah. Sorry,
I'll
Shane.
pass it to
James,
pass
yes.
it to Shane.
No, sorry, James, did you have anything else to help? Okay, sorry, yeah, Shane.
All good. No, I don't have any questions. I'm just excited to be part of it. Really great job, guys. I think it's very thorough, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll pass it over to Lydia.
Thanks, Shane.
My question is how can I no, it's a stupid question. I know I don't want to ask that question.
No, please.
Okay,
have it
how
when
can
you're
I
ready.
recommend more people to be like invited? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay.
So you can share the webpage or the LinkedIn page. And I mean, I think you're going to be doing work by talking about it and inviting people.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like that's one channel, but I still do have friends who have interesting thoughts that would love to come, and
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. And I don't think it makes sense for them to be part of my camp.
So this will be basically as soon as we have a couple of camps who have their tickets up on the website,
Yeah.
and some of those camps will be fully open, then you can actually send people to those, like
Okay.
buy this specific ticket, right? At the
Good.
moment, we don't have it yet, but in the couple
But-
coming weeks, it
But
will.
yeah, but I mean, share the webpage because people,
Yeah.
you know, people for something like this don't look at it and buy a ticket, or at least most don't. So
Okay.
getting people to know about it is definitely worthwhile. So send people the webpage. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think it's pretty good. We put a lot of work into it.
Perfect. Thank you. And I choose. I don't see all the names.
I think we're going,
Deepal.
Maybe just Roswell.
yeah, we're just
Our team
Roswell.
is,
The,
yeah.
the
Okay.
team hopefully knows what's going on.
Actually, I do have a question in terms of, are you choosing where each camp is being set up, or do we get to choose that?
Good question. Very good question. So we are on the land now. Our plan is we need to design the land basically. So we will do a land design in partnership with the garden to see what's possible, where the water points are, and so on and so forth. And then based on that, we will define zones that the camps can choose, so that each camp has a zone assigned, and you arrive on spot, and like we tell you, this is where your camp will be, right? So this will happen in the coming month, but not right now, because we first need to know more or less how many camps there are, if they're big or small, what do they need in terms of infrastructure, and then we will base this on that. But yes, you will have a space and we will choose it together, basically. Probably in one of the nest sessions, I mean, more than one. Yeah. And basically imagine that before the event, we will have a map of the land with 40 different spots and the name of each camp in each spot, and that's it. Yeah. So good for you as well to already think through what you want. Do you want to be under a tree? Do you want to be next to the lake? Do you need water access?
Well,
And then we'll do our
but
best.
even
Can you guys stop sharing the screen so we can see your faces?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. Before that, the first key thing to decide is how many people do you think you work with?
Yep.
How many people and how much big facilities do you want?
Yeah.
Lydia?
Lydia?
I have one more thing. It's less related, but I can teach yoga. I also am certified.
Nice.
It's actually interesting, that you mentioned that because we're trying to be really inclusive for different areas, but then somebody pointed out to me, it's like, oh, you don't have much emphasis on personal development and stuff. And it's probably my weakness because I don't think enough about that. But yeah, that side, it's about holistic human regeneration, and certainly that part, the physical mindfulness and all of that is a key part of it. I'm actually starting to think doing more reach out of organizations, tribes that work in that area. So,
We're quite strong in that area, just so you know.
sorry?
That's one of our strongest areas, and we'll be happy to contribute to that. Yeah.
You go.
Brilliant.
Nice. You already have a yoga teacher to join your camp? Or two, but I'll be cleaning toilets probably, so.
Now I get to clean the toilets.
You get to clean the toilets? Okay. I clean the showers. Okay, everyone. Anything else? Or we let you go with an extra 24 minutes? I think we do.
All right.
Nice.
Thank
Frequency
you.
Village, thank you for the full team presence. Super nice to meet all of you.
There's
Yeah,
much more of us.
to move forward. And Lydia, thank you so much for being here as well.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bring the
guys.
village
Much
to the
appreciated.
tribe. Love you all. Thank
See you
you.
guys.
Ciao.
See you later. Have a good one.
Speak soon. Say bye.